unfairly charged by your letting agent or your landlord? Well, I have, and I made sure that I fought and had all my money returned to me, even with compensation. In this video, I'm going to take you through step by step how I fought through the dispute and won the case. Okay, so guys, I have moved out of my accommodation, well, a couple of weeks ago or months ago, and when I did, my letting agent placed unreasonable charges on my deposit. Okay, so I'm going to take you through what exactly the letting agent was placing on my deposit and how much it was. So the letting agent placed 3 claims on my deposit. Okay, so the first one was a broken plug socket. And guys, the letting agent was charging $130 for that. However, a broken socket, when it's being replaced, it's not supposed to cost more than even £30. But this letting agent was placing £130 on my deposit for a broken socket. Now, the second claim was to pay for cleaning, okay? And the letting agent was charging me £200 for that. The third claim was to pay for damage to property content, into brackets, a burn mark on the woolen carpet, and the letting agent was placing £400 on that. Altogether, my deposit was £800, but the total claim on that money was £730, leaving me only £70 to take home. Now guys, let me set the scene here. Here in the UK, the gov.uk website spells out the rights of a tenant. As part of your rights as a tenant, when you're leaving the accommodation, you are supposed to have your deposit returned to you. Okay, you have right over your deposit, which is why even at the beginning of your tenancy, when the letting agent or your landlord takes the deposit, they are supposed to protect your money. So within 30 days, when you have moved into the property, you are supposed to have your money deposited in a protection scheme. So within 30 days, if you've not received a confirmation that your money or your deposit has been protected, you have the right to even file a lawsuit against your letting agent or your landlord. So you can report it to the county court, and they can be fined, and whatever actions that there is, they will be meted out to them. You have the right over your own deposit. Ideally, it's supposed to be returned to you, but in special circumstances where you've breached a particular clause in your tenancy agreement, or you have caused damage to the property, then the letting agents can lay claims over your deposit. Other than that, you are supposed to have all your monies returned to you. Even with that, I mean, even at the situation where your money or the letting agent is supposed to lay claims over your money, they are not supposed to place unreasonable charges over your money, because the rights of a tenant, as explained in my other video, also says that you have the right to dispute unfair charges or unreasonable charges. So these claims, when I received from the Deposit Protection Service, I was shocked. The first thing that I was shocked by was the faulty socket. Okay, so damage to the broken plug socket. And so usually when they get back to you that these are the claims that the letting agent is placing over your money, then they will ask you, because these schemes or these protection services are there to protect you, the tenant, and protect your money as well. So they will ask you, this is how much your letting agent is claiming from your deposit. How much do you agree? Do you agree? First of all, they will ask you, do you agree? If you say no, then they will ask you how much you are willing to pay. So this is how so per every item, they will ask the same question. So the first item, which is the broken plug socket, I responded that I do not agree, and then further on stated that I am willing to pay £0 for that claim. And you have to provide a description for why you want to pay such an amount, whatever amount you want to pay, why you want to pay. And this was my description. I can't be at fault for a faulty socket. That socket damaged a gadget, and I cannot bear the charges for a broken socket. Let's say if I had broken a window, okay, then you can say that I need to pay for that because I damaged the window. A faulty socket that even broke my gadget, you expect me to pay for that. I felt that that was very, very unfair and very unreasonable of the letting agent. So I told the service that I was willing to pay nothing for that because I can't be charged for a faulty socket. Then the second claim, which was for the cleaning of the property, because they said they needed to clean the property, and so they were taking £200 for that. That charge is a bit reasonable because £200 to clean a property of a 2-bed flat wasn't excessive. So it was reasonable, unlike the broken sockets that they were charging £130 for, which was so excessive, so much. The £200 for the cleaning was fair, but I had cleaned the property. I made sure that I hired a professional to come and clean the entire property before I left the property. And I paid close to that amount for that service that I paid for. So I told the service, the deposit protection service, that I wasn't willing to pay anything for the cleaning of the property because I had already done that and I did that professionally. So I attached a receipt of the cleaning service that I got. Then the third claim, which is for replacement of a carpet to rectify a burn mark. So the letting agent again said that I had burnt a particular spot of the carpet, in one of the rooms, one of the bedrooms. And so they were going to have to replace the entire carpet, which was going to cost me £400. Guys, that was so ridiculous. For someone like me that does not smoke in the first place, and again, for someone that never slept in that particular room. Funny enough, we never slept in that room. That room was mainly used as storage and just a part of it as an office space, okay, more like a private space. So it's the other bedroom that we slept in. And that burn mark, surprisingly, I spotted that black mark on the carpet, but I never thought it was a burn mark. I thought it was, a discoloration from whatever, an oil paint or whatever it is. So I never ever thought that it was a burn mark until the day we were packing out, that we took our stuff and I got the cleaning professionals to come and clean the place, that they said that is a burn mark. I mean, that was a burn mark, and so there was no way they could get rid of that. Because I thought it was dead. I thought it was something that a stain, that they could just clean it. But after they told me it was a burn mark, then I was like, okay, no problem. I mean, definitely the letting agent is aware, so I wasn't too bothered until this claim came, £400. I'm like, what the heck? So I had a very good relationship with my neighbors. So I asked my neighbors, I told them about the claim that my letting agent is placing over my money, and they told me that the person that was living in the property before I moved in was a smoker, and in fact smoked all sorts and had all sorts of people in his room. So I mean, they could have done that, but because I didn't realize that it was a burn mark, I didn't also make any complaint, or I didn't complain about it throughout my stay there until I was leaving. Then they were placing those charges on my money. So this was my response. I actually find that claim truly ridiculous. We never slept in that room, but merely used that room to store our luggage. Tell me how luggage could have burnt the carpet. I really believe that the agency was well aware of the burn mark before we moved in. We never took notice of such details until we packed out. We cannot pay for what we did not cause. And I was so pissed because then again, I was angry with myself because I knew that there were a lot of mistakes that I made. Now, thinking about this, what are the lessons learned? So, whenever you move into any property, ideally you're supposed to take photos, which we did, but we focused on the spots that we thought were the problem, okay, or the spots that we thought had the problems. So this is a learning curve. Whenever you move into any property, just take photos, even when where you think there are no problems. Just take the photos and keep them, because whenever the deposit protection services get back to you over claims placed on your money, they would want evidence, and usually they want, a date stamped photographs that you have. So it could be inventories that you signed when you were moving into the property. Some of the letting agents would have inventories for you, and then you just sign to say that, of course, or truly the photos that you see on the documents or in the documents they've sent you correspond to the real things that you see in the property. Okay, so you could have those inventories that you sign, or you would have to take photographs of the property. So just do not leave any stone unturned. Do not leave any spot uncovered. Just take photos, even where you think there are no problems. Just take photos and keep them. Because imagine we are taking photos of the carpet, we wouldn't have found ourselves in that trouble. So now I had to prove how I did not cause that stain, or how truly that particular burn mark or that particular room was used as storage, and so we didn't cause the burn. Okay. Funny enough, I take a lot of photos, that's random photos in the room. So one of the photos that I took, or two of them, so one of myself and one of my child, I was standing with the door open, so you could tell from the background that there were luggage in the room, and also from the open door you could tell that it was that particular room that had the burn mark. Because if you know the layout of the room very well, you would know that I was in the second room, which is the closest to the toilet. With the door open, you could tell. And it's just funny enough how I had the door open at the time I was taking the photo, and how I had that background to show that it was a room that was used to store our luggage. So I was just lucky that I had that photograph, and I also had another photograph showing more of the luggage in the room. So it was, typically you wouldn't take photos in a room where you store your luggage, right? So I would say that was just by chance that I even still had that photo on my phone. So I went as far back as, a year ago when I took that photo, and then I found that, I had those photos over there, and I attached them to say that, look at these, these photos show that I was in the second room. Because of the open door, you can tell that it's a second room, and that is the room that has the burn mark. And this room was merely used to store our luggage. We never actually slept in this room. It was the other room that we actually used as a bedroom. Okay, so that was my evidence, my main evidence. The second evidence was about the cleaning. I just attached a receipt of the cleaning. The receipt I received from the cleaning agent. Okay, so that as well was done. And what I found ridiculous about the cleaning thing was that when I moved into the property was as dirty as can be. The property was so dirty. The kitchen cabinets had everything you can think of in them. The fridge had ice cream stains, boxes. The room was practically dirty apart from the carpet, And the mistake I made, which is also another learning curve, instead of sending an email to register my displeasure to the letting agent when I moved into the property, I rather made a phone call and told them, the property is very dirty and I've had to clean the property all over again. I had a friend who helped me out and, it was daunting, blah, 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 blah. They apologized over the phone and that ended the conversation. But, there was no written document. There was no written evidence of that phone call that I made to them. So I couldn't attach the fact that the room was even dirty when I moved in. And I had taken that extra step to clean the room to make it, welcoming to the next occupant. I didn't have evidence of that. So that was another learning curve. Whatever problem you spot, instead of making a phone call, send it through an email. Okay. So that is also that. So that's how I disputed that. And then the plug, I said, I don't have any photo to show for the plug, but I can't be at fault for an electrical fault, because clearly that was an electrical fault which damaged my gadget. So I can't be at fault for that, and I can't pay for that. And besides, that charge was that charge was clearly exorbitant. You can't charge me 130 for a broken socket. I wasn't going to pay for that. So, like I said, the deposit protection schemes are there to protect your money. Okay, so they analyzed everything, and then they realized that I wasn't guilty, and so they sent me my money. I received an email telling me that they were going to pay my money to me because I had won the case. Guys, I want to end this video by urging you all to be vigilant, okay? Know your rights as a tenant. I already have a video here on this channel. Know your rights as a tenant and make sure you protect yourself and your money. Do not let any letting agent or landlord extort any money from you, unreasonable charges from you, okay? Stay safe, and please put in the comment section if you have ever fought any dispute, if you have ever been unfairly charged by any letting agent, and what steps you took. If you didn't, also, whatever it is, whatever question you want to ask, please put it in the comment section, and then I'll be able to answer you. Take care, stay safe. Bye.